Now our final honoree today is Desmond Clark, 12-year veteran of the NFL, including 9 years with the Chicago Bears. A little bit about his background: he attended Wake Forest University, was drafted by the Broncos in 1999. But it was his commitment to others that most defines who he is. This is one of his quotes. He says, "I have a passion for helping people, especially kids. I play football for a living, but I don't define myself by what I do for a living, but how much good I can do for my fellow man. Sometimes it costs us nothing to help someone, so why not? Things are not forgetting, they are forgiving." Love that. From that personal philosophy, Desmond began offering football camps to low-income kids. That was back in 2002. And in the last years, he's provided football cleats to 600 young people. This is in the Lakeland, Florida community where he grew up. In April of 2008, he founded 88 Ways Youth Organization. This is a private, nonprofit organization that is committed to enhancing the educational, spiritual, physical, mental, political, social, and community growth of today's young people, while at the same time assisting those young people in realizing their dreams and reaching their full potential by mentoring, motivating, and developing the confidence that is needed to achieve and become productive adults. Desmond, somebody else weighed in today with some of their thoughts about you. You might appreciate this. It's from Pat McCaskey, who actually could not be with us here today. As you may well know, Pat occasionally likes to speak in a little bit of rhyming prose, right? And you're smiling. So here it comes. I'm not going to read the entire thing, but just one paragraph here. "Desmond Clark does not bark. He's very eloquent. When he speaks, don't be surprised at how really well it went." Des Clark is not a lark. He will always be a Chicago Bear. If he is in an accident, don't despair. He'll be wearing clean underwear. I don't know what that means, but Des Clark is a great dad. He often makes his children glad. Pat may not get big points or awards for poetry today, but I think you get the point here, and you can explain to us perhaps a little bit more about what he was talking about there, Des, too. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce to you Desmond Clark. He is our 2011 Ricky Bird Song.
I really don't know how I'm even up here, to tell you the truth. You don't become a father to win awards or to have people recognize it. My thing for me being a father is that I always wanted to be the best dad that I could be, but not for awards. It's for when my girls and now my 3-month-old son, when they grow up, they can tell people about how well their dad treated them. Now, I'm trying not to get emotional because my kids mean a lot to me. Like I told David, I'm an open book, and I'm not. I'm here right now. I'm going through a divorce. I'm glad you said what you said, because it validated what I think about myself as a dad. Like I said, you don't do it for any accolades. The reason I do it, and I'll tell y'all a story about my dad, is because I know that bond between the dad and his kids. When I was 7, my mom and my dad, they separated. But I love my dad. It didn't matter. And I give my mom a lot of credit for that because he didn't treat my mom well. And she never said a bad thing about him. My dad was a drug addict, wasn't a good person at this time, but I didn't care. That was my dad. I chased my dad all across Lakeland, Florida. I chased my dad in drug houses. I sat with my dad in drug houses. He would tell me to come meet him in drug houses. Didn't matter. That was my dad. I sat right next to him with a whole bunch of drug addicts, with the dope man sitting right there, giving them crack to smoke. I would even go back with my dad, because my dad was blind, after being shot by another drug addict, and help him light his crack pipe. Didn't matter. That was my dad. That's who I looked up to. And I learned how to be a father in a different way. By knowing how much my dad meant to me and seeing what my dad went through, and knowing I didn't ever want to have my daughters have to go through anything like that, like I say, my 3-month-old son now. And I do any and everything I can to make sure that those 3 kids, they know their father and they know what their father is about. And like you said, I model for them. I model for them. Knowing what kind of bond I have with my father, I just hope I can create that for my girls and my boy. And to be a model for them, I try every day to make sure that I'm the biggest influence in their lives. And with that comes a lot of responsibility. That means I can't mess up. I have to show them how to walk this life every day. And like you said, even though times are hard with divorce and that type of stuff, I have to show them, hey, I still love your mother. I still respect your mother. I never say anything bad about your mother. I have to show them how to be good people. And by modeling for them, I live by a certain thing that I always make my decisions by. First of all, am I doing right by God? And then, am I doing right by others? The very last thing I think about is, am I doing right by myself? Because I always feel like I'll be okay. And that's what I try to teach them. Do right by God, do right by others, and you'll always be okay. And I don't know if you guys are on social media, but I'm a Twitter guy. Me and my guy Ron, we sometimes we don't even text message. We on Twitter talking back and forth like we couldn't do this properly or something. But I got a call the other day and somebody said they read my Twitter profile, and the thing that I have up there is that I aspire to be the best dad I can. And it meant the world to me that somebody looked at that and read that and actually thought to call me and tell me that they look at it and it really captured them. And somebody told me that it made them want to be a better father. And when we talk about influencing other people, you know, all of my friends will tell you that have kids, I tell them, look, I don't care what you do, as a man, you've got to be a father to your kids. That means a lot. That means a lot to me. And that's one of the reasons why 88 Ways was set up, because I feel like as I came up from the ages of 7 to 17, my father not being there for me like he should have been, I had a group of men in those 10 to 11 years that made sure I did what I had to do, got me to where I had to go, and wouldn't let me fail. And I think for mentors, that's what we should be. We should take this little knucklehead and not let him fail. Because failure is not an option. It shouldn't be an option. We should take that right out of his or her mode of thinking. And that's what I'm setting out to do. I'm setting out to, for me, it's the men, it's the males, it's the boys, getting the boys from point A to point B, wherever they're trying to go. A past honoree here was Dr. Davis, who actually wrote Talks Mentoring, which I use now for my curriculum for mentoring. And he talks about bridging the gap from boyhood to manhood. And I think as men, that's what we should be trying to do for our boys. But, we're supposed to begin out here at 11:30, at 1:30, and I'll talk about this forever. But to be short and sweet, I don't know how I got here, but I appreciate whoever it was, if it was more than one person, even thinking about or seeing me and thinking, you know, that's a good dad, that's a good dad. I really do appreciate that because it literally means the world to me. To have somebody to tell me that I'm a good dad, because I think that's the best thing in this lifetime that I can be. So I appreciate you guys honoring me with the Ricky Birdsong Award. And like I say, thank you for just thinking of me as a good dad.